So, this is the Cyberbullying Awareness board game. So, the first thing that we need to do for the game is make sure that we have all of the correct pieces, which include the game pieces, the player pieces, and then a dice, a set of scenario cards which go on the scenario card square, a set of question cards which go on the question card square, and a timer, which I'm going to be using my cell phone to do. And you also need to have a piece of paper for each player, and then you need to have the score sheet, which looks something like this. So to start the game, we will pick a piece, which I'm going to pick the red piece, and then to be my player, and then you put all of the pieces on the start square. And then everyone who's playing the game will go around and roll the dice, and whoever rolls the highest gets to go first. So I rolled a 6, and I'm playing with myself, so I'll go first. So I'm going to roll to see how many squares I'll move. And I rolled 5, so I will move my player 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I landed on a QR code. So whenever you land on a square with a QR code, you take the iPad, which I do not have one with me, but you will scan the QR code with your iPad, and then the website will pop up. And the timer, which you need to decide who the timer is at the beginning of the game to keep time of how long it takes. So the timer will set their stopwatch, and they will let it go until 5 minutes are up. And when 5 minutes are up, you have to stop exploring, and you have to use your piece of paper that you have to write down one fact or one sentence that you found from the website. If you can think of one fact or one sentence from the website, you will earn 1 point. But the sentence or fact must be different from any previous facts. So if I land on a QR code here and write down a fact, and then I land on a QR code here, I have to write down something different from what I wrote down the first time. Otherwise, you will not earn a point. So then the next player will go, and they will roll the dice, and let's say they rolled a 2. So the blue player will move 2. And it says draw a scenario card. So whenever you land on this, you'll draw a card from the top of the scenario pile, and you'll read the scenario out loud. And at the top it says witness, which means I'm reading this as I am a witness. The card says, you log on to Facebook to see multiple people commenting mean things on a peer's picture. What do you do? Then the timer must start the timer, and you will have 2 minutes to think about the question or the scenario, and when the 2 minutes are up, the timer will tell you, and you must read your scenario out loud. So in this case, my solution would be to comment on the picture and say that the mean things everyone is saying are not true. I will tell them that they should not be saying those things, and then maybe even give my peer a compliment about the picture. And then after I read my solution out loud, the rest of the players in the game will vote on whether or not they think that this is a helpful and appropriate solution. So since there are 4 players and you're the one who read the scenario, the other 3 players will vote. If 2 people vote yes, it is helpful and appropriate, and 1 person votes no, it is not, then you get the point because it's unanimous. If 2 people vote no, it's not, and 1 person votes yes, it is, then you do not get the point because it is not unanimous. So each time you get a point someone, whoever the recorder is, which you will also be choosing at the beginning of the game, they will mark a tally mark in your place. So since I'm player 1 and I got a scenario point, I would mark a tally mark here for player 1 if I'm the recorder. And then you take the scenario card and just stick it in the back of the pile there. So then the next person would roll, and let's say that they rolled a 4. They would move 1, 2, 3, 4, and they'd land on a question card space. They would pick up a question card from the question card pile, and they would read the question out loud. As soon as they're done reading the question out loud, the timer will start the stopwatch and set it for 1 minute. They will then have 1 minute to answer the question. So my question is, if you witness cyberbullying, you should be A, a bystander, or B, an upstander. So I will start my time for 1 minute, and I will say my answer out loud. I believe that you should be an upstander. And so I flip the card over. The answer is correct. It says B on the back. So I would get 1 point for getting the answer correct. So then you'll continue to play this game until each player lands back on the start square. So let's say that I am right here on the board, and I only have 2 places left before I land back on start, and I roll a 3. Then I go 1, 2, and I pass the start, and I continue to go until I land exactly on the start. And I keep playing around the board until I land perfectly on the start. Now, once I land on the start, I'm there for good. I stop playing the game, and I wait until everyone else lands on the start. Once everyone is back to start, all the players are back over here. That means that the game is over, and you will tally up all the points for each player, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. And that is how you play the cyberbullying awareness game.